Everyone, Caffeinated Warlord here with round 2 of ConVic 2023, the 2-day tournament event that was held in Victoria. I've taken my Undead, and in the second round I'm going against, again, Order of the Green Lady, this time helmed by ᴄᴠᴠᴞ. It's 2150 points, let's go. So I've brought at least one video covering my performance against Order of the Green Lady, and you might be thinking that this is the same video, but it's not. I've made sure to change the thumbnail, but also it's a completely different battle. It's round 2 of the 6-round tournament, the biggest tournament that we have here in Victoria, ConVic 2023. And if you want more details, I guess, about the tournament, go watch that first video. But otherwise, it's a pretty standard kind of tournament with pretty standard scenarios. The only thing different is that at the start of each game, we roll off and we can move. Whoever wins gets to move one piece of terrain up to 6 inches. And it can be anywhere, anything, just obviously some kind of restrictions, like you can't move it off the table or something stupid. But you can move hills into deployment zones because we're using epic dwarf maps, so they normally aren't in deployment zones. So that's kind of fun. Or you can move a forest in the way, out of the way, something like that. So in the first round, I had challenged player Stephen Tuck, who was using Order of the Green Lady, and he beat me quite solidly. And so my reward for having lost against Order of the Green Lady once is in the second round to go against Order of the Green Lady again. Some would say that this is some kind of divine punishment. But instead, maybe it's something like you've gotten used to the units, because Order of the Green Lady is actually quite new to me. I've seen plenty of battle reports with them, but I don't use them very much myself. And so it might be a chance instead for me to get used to the army and know how hard things hit. There's that innate knowledge of when you have your units on the battlefield, you're moving them around and you can look at things and you can be like, okay, my army can do this, that guy can do that, and it's just things that you don't have to, instead of constantly checking, say, the army list, and you're going, and trying to do some math hammer, eventually you get this kind of reflex. And I'm not saying that's not going to develop in one round of one bad game, but maybe by 2 rounds, as I'm getting into it, I will understand. So let's get into my list very quickly. If you want something a bit longer, we'll go with that. But here's my list. It's Undead, and it's pretty fun because it's got a lot of good bits. So it starts off with some, the trashy kind of mobs, the zombies. 3 regiments of zombies and 1 regiment of skeleton spearmen, because I didn't have enough zombies, and so I just needed something else to get in the way, and skeleton spearmen seemed like a pretty good thing to put in the way, actually. Defense 4 phalanx. Then we have 1 troop of wraiths, which really good thick chaff. And then we have first of the 2 of the 4 hammers, 2 Soul Reaver infantry regiments, 1 with a staying stone to improve its wavering value. Then we have a horde of wights, the 3rd hammer in the army with the blade of slashing. We have 2 troops of revenant cavalry, and then finally we have 1 regiment of Soul Reaver cavalry with Sir Jesse's boots of striding. So yes, 4 hammers, quite a bit of chaff, and lots of trash. So that's what a good undead list should be, right? Then to put the pressure on, I've got 2 balefire catapults, which pretty much do the work all the time. I really quite enjoy them. And then finally for support, we have 2 Revenant Kings, both of them with Surge. One of them is on an undead horse, so he has height 3 and a bit more speed, and he has the Trickster's Wand, giving him Hex 2, which is very useful when he's on an undead horse, so he can cast that in the early turns of the game. Very useful. And then finally we have a Necromancer, who has the Inspiring Talisman, Heal 3, and Banechant 2. So there's some Surge in the list when I need it, but otherwise it's all about just supporting all those hammer units when they get in there. So yeah, 16 units, 24 unit strength, definitely a respectable, and what we like to say, a solid list. We do like using the word solid a lot, us Kings of War players. So, on to Grant's list. So ᴄᴠᴠᴞ is Order of the Green Lady with the Retribution of the Forsaken, is what he named his list, because he has the Forsaken Horde in there, and it's very similar to the other Forsaken Horde in the previous list. But this list is quite a bit different because there's a whole lot more elementals. So starting off, we have 1 horde of water elementals with the Healing Brew, so they're going to be regenerating and healing a lot. Then we have 2 hordes of earth elementals, which really don't need anything because they're just good defense 6. Then we have 1 Order of Redemption with the Brew of Sharpness, making them ultra killy. Because remember, Order of Redemption are the next level up of knights. You've got the Order of Brotherhood, which are pretty good knights, Order of Redemption, really good knights, and Order of the Forsaken, flying knights. And what he has is Order of the Forsaken with the Vial of Sacred Water and Wine of Elven Kind, exactly like Tucky took. So that has they're nimble, they can heal a little bit, and they've got the they've got the Sacred Water keyword, which then synergizes with something else in the list, but we'll get there. So we have 3 ᴄＧΩᴀλλᴇ, and which are just kind of monsters that can just fly around. So unit strength 1, they just go off. They can get some objectives. They're also reasonably hitty. Like, you can send them in and, disorder. They can reliably disorder something. In a flank, they're not so great. You don't want them there. So they're a good little unit and very annoying. So I'll be looking at trying to stop them if I can, or at least distract them. Then we have 1 greater Earth Elemental, which just backs up the Earth Elemental. So just more defense 6. And then we have the support. So we have 1 devoted hero. So on our Forest Steed with Radiance of Life. So which only works on Sacred Water, so hence the Order of the Sacred will benefit from that Radiance of Life, and Shroud of the Saint to improve that heal, and to Surge 7. So it's pretty much here to support most of the army it has some synergy with. There's also the Druid, who has the Tome of Darkness to buff that Surge, and has heal 2. And then finally we have a Unicorn with Lightning Bolt 5, which I will not take lightly like I did last time. I will definitely respect the Unicorn. That's what we've learned. Respect the Unicorn. So it's 11 units, very elite, which you can see why, but it does have 19 unit strength. I don't know why I said but, because that's also quite low, so it's an elite army. But, I mean, there's the but. Order of the Green Lady is generally an elite army, so it's to be expected, and I will now treat all the units with a lot more respect than I did in the previous game. I will not try to throw away my own stuff. So let's take a look at the game. It is Plunder. So Plunder is where you have 5 tokens out along the middle, 1 right in the middle, 2 either side along that center line, and then once you've picked sides, you then select each a token that you want to be worth 2 points rather than 1. And so I selected this one here, the far right, knowing that I was kind of just looking at his army. Even though he had some fast components, I know getting around these buildings would be difficult, so I thought I would do better at that, and I want to funnel some of his units in to this area. So anyway, I picked this one because I knew I could navigate it a little bit easier, and then he picked this one. I'm not quite sure why, but he did. And so that means actually it's all skewed over here. So all I need to do, I grab these 2, and that's it. These 3 I officially do not care about. The moment he picked this one, I'm like, all right, this side of the battlefield, I'm just trying to delay. This side is what I'm focusing on. That was my thought process, and so I think my deployment reflects that. But before we get into deployment, let's look at the terrain. We have 2 very long hills. So 1 hill here, 1 hill here, standard height 3. We have a height 9 forest here, small one, and a big one right in the middle in front of my stuff. Then we have difficult terrain that's kind of, I guess crops. And then over here, a little pond, a long pond, doing nothing. That's it. It's over there. It won't do anything. 2 pieces of blocking terrain, unpainted, because you could win them. Which is kind of cool. So these are unpainted 3D printed terrains that you can pick at the end, because everyone in the tournament will be able to pick something to take home. So everyone feels like a little bit of a winner. And then we have some nice blocking terrains, obstacles sticking out right here from each of the blocking terrains respectively. So lots of stuff needs to have Strider, and I can tell you most of my army doesn't have any kind of Strider apart from the Wraiths and the Cavalry, whereas his stuff I think has Pathfinder, the Greater Elemental might have Strider. Anyway, obstacles are definitely going to play a part. So, in deployment, having known that all the objectives will be here on the right, I put both my Soul Reaver infantry down here because they're nice and small and easy to get around, so I thought these are the perfect candidates for navigating these buildings. And I've given them some chaff to help them do the job. So it's 2 zombies for one of the Soul Reavers, and then a Revenant Cavalry for the other Soul Reavers. And the Revenant Cavalry are good because they can, even though they're reasonably slow because they're shambling, they still move 8 and project 16, so they can already project towards the deployment zone of the opponent, and that just gives them a bit of pause, because you generally don't want to get charged if you can help it, but you can't always help it. And I guess I had to put something in the middle because there's only so much room here on the right, so I have put the white here at what I listened to. I read that article about the PowerPoints, and so this is the 1/3 point. So I thought, yes, put the whites here. They can go up, they can either threaten the Forsaken over there, or they can come in here and help secure the tokens there. And I have in front of them, Revenant Cavalry, because I want Revenant Cavalry to be picking up these tokens, and that's what they're going to do. They are perfectly lined up to go forward and turn 2, pick it up, and turns 3 onwards, bugger off with it as best they can. Then the rest of the army here, we have the wraiths in front of the Soul Reaver cavalry. We have some spearmen. There's one of my Revenant Kings here on horse with the Hex, and another Revenant King over here. And then I have a regiment of zombies here just to, get in the way, and 2 fire catapults over here also. They're kind of like, this is obviously probably the best vantage point because anything coming over these hills will start getting shot, and I can always start shooting the Forsaken. Whoops. So that's why I put them there. But I also put them here away from the rest of my army because I thought if he does decide to start killing them, it's still taking a turn away from when they could be trying to contribute here. And when I say they, I think like the Pegasus, for instance, that's what's going to come kill them. So if I can have Pegasus coming to kill my Balefire catapults, I don't really mind because then they're not annoying my army or coming in to steal tokens and run off with them in a way that I just can't catch them. So that's my plan. So there, deployment. So in his side, we've got Earth Elemental Horde, Greater Earth Elemental, and Earth Elemental Horde, and a Pegasus there. And somewhere behind here is the Druid. So that's a whole little battle group there of Defense 6 nastiness. And it's just going to be squeezing down here. Fortunately for me, not all of it can squeeze in at once, and that's what I want. I don't want to have to engage all 3 at once. I want to engage a bit of it and try and smash through it as hard as I can with my hopefully Bane-chanted Soul Reavers. And yeah, just generally take it all down. In the middle, then he's got his nimble Forsaken Horde, which can go any which way it likes. And then on one side, it's got a Pegasus, and the other side, I think that is the guy on the Forest Steed, the Devoted. And then there's another Pegasus over here with the Water Elementals. That would be... Maybe that's the Devoted. Pegasus, Pegasus, Pegasus. Unicorn's there. That's the Devoted on the Forest Steed. And over there's the Sharpness Order of Redemption. They can stay over there, thank you. He's deployed all his stuff over there. And obviously he's got the mind of coming in for the token. And he can have this, this, and this. And as long as I get these 2, I am A-OK. And I just want to delay his ability to move through here by just, putting stuff in the way. So that is my plan. And then, so when I set up my army, I'm like, well, I'm trying to think how I can work with the scenario. The simpler things to think of, and generally more fun and distract me, are what can I hex? What's the hexing thing? And so obviously this would be the Devoted Hero with cool spells, such as, I think it has we've got Heal 5, Surge 7. So why not do that one? So that is my hex target for now. So I'm going to try and get beelines on that. And then what can I shoot with the Balefires? And that's obviously the Order of Forsaken Horde because they're just too tall to hide behind hills. So good for me. Yeah, got our tokens. There's pictures of tokens. Very good. Pictures of the painted units in his army. So unfortunately, not much of his army is painted, but what is painted to a very high standard, which just goes to speak that's why most of the army is not painted because it's taking its time. But these elementals look dope. They look great. And here's some good knights and turn 1. If you want to see pictures of my army, go to the previous video. I didn't do any more showcase kind of pictures in the round. So I got first turn, I move up, and as promised, I'm trying to move these Revenant Cavalry here up to protect from threats. So now it's already hitting the line of his deployment zone, so he knows the moment he moves, he is getting threatened by Revenant Cavalry. Most people don't realize, lots of people realize, but it's for people that don't play Undead a lot, Revenant Cavalry actually aren't that good, and as long as you make them hindered, they're even worse, because they hit on 5s and they lose some of their thunderous charge, and they've only got 8 attacks in their troops, so they're really not going to do much, but still, a lot of people tend to give them more respect than they deserve. So I take advantage of that. Here in the middle, I'm just moving up and making sure I don't mind putting these guys in the forest. There's no real need to, because there's nothing shooting at me, but in general, these guys won't get hindered if they charge out of the forest, and so I'm just going to see what he does with his Order of the Forsaken, because they can kind of do anything they like, being nimble and speed 10. Another picture, hexed it, because he is tall, I think. I'm height 3, he's height 4? Anyway, I managed to hex it. Should I have been able to hex it? Oh, no, I think he's peeking over the hill. Yep. So, hexed, some shots here, because I decided I wanted to try and kill a Pegasus. They have very low nerve. I wasn't so lucky, but I did hit it at least, so that's pretty good. So in his turn, here we are already. should have taken his wound counter with him, but the Pegasus flies over here, Order the Forsaken. They all kind of just move in the middle. He decided he didn't need to be casting spells, so just brought his Devoted along for the ride. The army over here is moving up to the hill with the idea of, I guess, getting the tokens. Got the Water Elemental Horde there moving up, nice and slowly, because they're shambling, and the Order of Redemption's there. And yeah, so everything on his side moving up, and just trying to, I guess, stake claim to the objectives here. He surged a bit here, because why not? He had some surge available. Over here, Blurry Action Shot, we have the Elementals, and they've definitely moved up. And just as I hoped, it's kind of piecemeal. So I've got these ones isolated from these ones, isolated from these ones. So hopefully I can get in there and fight them on my terms. There we go. Turn 2. How quick was that? So turn 2, I turn half my middle army to face the Order of the Forsaken, because I have hit them with my zombies to hopefully pin them down. You know, you can never really rely when it's hitting on 5s, 12 attacks. It might do nothing, but hopefully pin them down. Turned in with the Spearmen, the Wraiths, the Soul Reaver Cavalry, and I've got my Revenant Champion here who has the Surgeon Hex. So everything's just turning in, and if they do really get stuck there, which I doubt, but then I might be able to get a flank charge on them or something, but unfortunately, I think what I really should have done is I should have just turned on the spot. Unfortunately, I moved up and turned, whereas if I stayed here and turned and looked this way, maybe I could have angled past my skeletons or something, but instead I moved up here, so that was silly, but I've done it anyway. The most interesting thing is that my Revenant Cavalry have picked up the token, and here they are. So they're going to start their just speed 5 journey this way. Why did I pick this way and not this way? Well, this way is getting pretty crowded, because I decided, yes, I need to bring the whites in, because the whites will be needed to break through all this defense 6. I don't think the 2 Soul Reavers just by themselves can do the job. So that's why I brought them over here. Just showing I've gotten the token. See, I'm playing scenario. Now, I've got the Revenant Cavalry in to tie up that Greater Earth Elemental, because he hasn't got that many attacks, and he does hit on 4s, so it might take him a little while. Whereas, in go the Soul Reaver Infantry into one of the hordes, and there's no repercussions for that. Right now, they are untouchable, nothing's going to get into them, so they can start chopping away without worry. And look at that, 5 damage. That's crazy. 5 damage from Revenant Cavalry when they've only got 8 attacks, so they must have been rolling real hot. Over here, 10 damage, also pretty good. Technically getting close to breaking them, but I do not. Here, 4 damage from the Skeleton Spearman in the flank. The hitting on 5s ain't good, even if you're hitting with 30 attacks. And here we have, that's 3 damage from the zombies. So at least we're pinned down, that's good. And I'm doing some shooting. Which it definitely happened before the combat, don't worry. And I did shoot at this Devoted Champion just to put some damage on it and maybe rout it, but no such luck. Yes, I've got the token. I got it. Jeez, I was making sure I remembered that, huh? In his turn, well, the army's turning in. He's got, I think someone has picked up the token, probably the Order of Redemption Cavalry, and we've got the Water Elementals there. In front, I guess he's angling to surge them in and destroy the zombies, which is fair enough, and these guys are fighting here, so they'll get to reform. I won't get to attack him in the flank as I had planned, and he's still got plenty of Pegasus to put in the way, so that's definitely going to happen. So this picture is showing the Devoted is getting out of the way so it doesn't get hexed anymore. Yes, I think they have the token, and the Pegasus here is just kind of being annoying, getting over. I'm not sure where it's going. I think it has its leader point, so it doesn't really have a charge on anything, but it is getting past my lines, and it will show up again later. This Pegasus, which I've been trying to do damage to, so you can see it's been taking some damage, is going into one of my Balefire Catapults, but that's okay, because that's actually... It's not... I mean, ideally, I'd love my Catapults to be killing everything ever, but, you know, if the Catapults are distracting a Pegasus, then that's good enough. Yes, he got the Surge off, and so those zombies are done for. Here, the Revenant Cavalry did not survive the rebuke of the Greater Earth Elemental, and the normal Earth Elementals did 3 damage, which is, I think, pretty under, but, you know, 4s and... They're crushing 1, so 4s and 4s with 18 attacks, so, you know, they should do 4.5, so 3 is not... It's not super under. Anyway. And, yeah, zombies are gone, so now the Order of Forsaken are facing the correct way. And the Balefire Catapult is gone, and the Pegasus is looking to take on the other Balefire Catapult. So it's my turn. What'll I do? Well, I charge in with Skeleton Spearman because why? I don't think I could charge in with these guys. Yeah, I don't think I could get them out of the way. Or if I could, I have double charge. What did I do this for? Let's go back. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could have charged. What am I doing? Like, if I declare a double charge, these guys go there, they slide over, or maybe... No, I should have. I should have been able to, but maybe I couldn't. Maybe it was just not going to work. I don't know. But I didn't double charge, and I really should have, because that would break. Spearman ain't going to do anything. They're just going to maybe tie them up, but maybe not. At least they've got phalanx, so that's good, right? But what I did, maybe I didn't want to throw it. Yeah, okay, now I remember. I was thinking, Wraiths, I'm going to surge them into the flank, because that's what's going to happen here. And with the flanking Wraiths and the Skeletons in the front, this unit for sure is doomed. But that's an incorrect assumption, because I'm hitting on 4s with Wraiths, 4s and 4s, which I just did the maths for the Earth Elementals over there, didn't I? Just then, quick maths with 18 attacks, 20 attacks, not much more. You know, I'm going to do 5 damage. These guys will be lucky to do, I don't know, 2. So 7 damage, bringing them up to 10. It's not exactly the danger zone, is it? So, see, I should have applied my quick maths in the other sense to here, but I did not, and so I've just got my Thoriva cavalry just sitting here going, ooh-doo-doo, when really they could have charged in. But I guess the consequences of charging is they definitely get hit by all this other stuff. But then they'd be dead, so taken, which would be much more preferable. So, you know, who's the idiot then? Huh? Definitely me. But anyway, I've got these guys tied up at least, and my Revenant Kings are both standing around looking a bit silly, but I'm trying to get some hexes off, you know. Here is the real excitement. Just a single smidge of his corner, the Earth Elemental's corner, was visible past. Well, I could see him, and then there was a gap there big enough for these whites to get in, and so they are in, which is really not where you want whites. Because obviously zombies aren't going to do anything here, but the whites will. And, you know, smart charges, these guys shuffle over, the whites get in and bang. So we're going to be doing a hefty amount of damage to that poor Greater Earth Elemental. And obviously the Soul Reavers go back in, and I'm going to be trying to cast some Bane Chant here. And the Revenant Cavalry continue to jog on into the sunset. And these zombies, well, they're like, well, we're not needed here, so we might as well go off and just be a speed bump. And yes, as expected, we down the Greater Earth Elemental, and also since I did 10 damage last time, one would expect I would do enough damage to take him down here. So we've got a little life leech going, I've picked up the token here with the whites, so everything's pretty good, and we've got zombies right in front to then take the charge from these Earth Elementals, and then we get to choose what goes in, so not looking too shabby. Blurry action shot because I decided to focus on the highest of the Pegasus, but I did manage to surge the Wraiths in, so that's good. I didn't fail 5 surge, but I did have both my casters on standby. I was obviously wanting to cast a Hex, which I did. You can see that blurry card there. But yes, I got to surge in. I'm taking a picture of these because I think they look cool. Would you agree? I think they're pretty cool. They're actually pretty cool models, considering how old they are, these Soul Reaver Cavalry. Not bad. Anyway, and there's some more cavalry. What am I doing? Yeah, I'm just getting scenic. Maybe we had a pause and we're just like, hey, let's just take pictures. Anyway, after that brief intermission, yeah, it's his turn. So you can see here, I think some healing's gone on, because it can't have been 5 damage, but they definitely got healed enough and they're now back to 5 damage. So my whole plan of flanking with Wraiths being enough to take down a whole horde of Forsaken definitely fell apart, and they're paying the price by getting flanked here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Getting flanked by some Order of Redemption, sharp Order of Redemption, mind you, so I don't think that Defense 6 is going to do squat, especially against 40 attacks hitting on 2s. Oof, that's going to be brutal. And the Order of Forsaken are hopefully going to get through the Spearmen, we'll see. And these Water Elementals are just trying to get past, but I think what they'll eventually do is turn back and pick up the token, because he needed to drop the token in order to make that charge, because it was outside 10. So he had to drop the token, so I think something's going to go back and pick it up. And you can see the Hex here. Yes, so I had Hex, and he's like, stuff it, I'm going to cast my heals, but he's taken a lot of damage for that. Unfortunately, he is taking out my Balefire Catapult, so nothing can really go over there and tickle it to make it have a nerve test and disappear, which is unfortunate. And he's also put a Pegasus, the last of his Pegasus on this side. I think it's finished with the Balefire Catapult, and it's just getting in the way of the... well, no, it's not the last of it. No, he's got 3 Pegasi. So this is one of the Pegasus is just getting in the way of my Soul Reaver Cavalry. So even if these die, the Soul Reaver Cavalry definitely aren't just going to get past it. So I've got to get through Pegasus So he's playing the delay game on me, which is very smart. He should. So there we go. Yes. In the way. Yes, he charges the zombies because he really has no choice unless he just wants to sit there. So charging into zombies, he does. And this Pegasus has made its way around the back, and it's hoping to get into some nice, nasty places. Flank and rear charges abound. And this one has finished off the battle for a catapult and is feeling very smug having done so, because it's definitely made its points twice. And over here, the skeleton spearmen, despite having the phalanx and should be keeping these guys here for a long, long time, they did not, and they died. So these Order of the Taken are free, the race are dead, so the Order of Redemption are free. You see? I managed to give away 2 pieces of chaff when really, if I hadn't charged them in, maybe charged in the Soul Reaver Cavalry with the zombies, I would have killed the Order of... I definitely would have killed them because these guys are nasty. So I would have killed them, and then I would have had the last laugh. And then, well, he might have charged with the Order of Redemption, but maybe I can stagger, move one back, move one forward, maybe in some way with the Wraiths on the flank. Anyway, it's all another idea, but I should not think that... This is the problem. Sometimes I think that chaff can do a certain amount of damage, and it definitely cannot, and Wraiths are in that category. They hit on 4s, crushing 1 is not a recipe for killing things. If they do, fantastic, but most of the time, they don't. So, here we are. I will have to kill a unicorn before I can do anything to those Forsaken, which is not the way I like to be. Over here, 5 damage onto the zombies, but the zombies are fine. Zombies don't care about 5 damage. So, in my turn 4, well, you can see my token is still running away, but it needs to run away a little bit faster, because these Order of Forsaken can cover that distance in no time at all. Yeah, I think that was the saying I was going for. Anyway, hold them up just a little bit. I've sent him a Revenant King, the cheapest one. He's the one on foot. He hasn't got Trickster's Wand. So in he goes to hopefully just pin them down. And at the same time, I have my Soul Reaver Cavalry going into that unicorn because that's the situation I've been fed. He's coming up to come and help, but it's a bit too late. Down here, well, we've sent in. There we go. Soul Reaver Cavalry to the Earth Elementals with the zombies still there. The whites are turned around because I do not want to get rear charged by a Pegasus, even though it probably won't kill the whites. They are the ones with the tokens, so I'd rather they stay alive. And I've got these Soul Reavers turning around as well, just to kind of cover things, I suppose. Yeah, but these guys were giving their rears, so that's not good. But we're hoping to pop through these guys, but unfortunately we do not. Whereas before, the Soul Reavers by themselves were able to do 10 damage, combined with the efforts of the mighty zombies, they only managed to do 6 damage to these. So, the dice go in all kinds of directions. Here we can see that I did a single damage. That should be a 6. It's hidden. But yes, he grounded them. Good on him. And I did manage to kill a single unit Pegasus, which you'd hope so. So I've turned to face my doom. And yes, he countercharges into the zombies. He's like, I can kill them, so he'll try a little bit more. Pegasus goes into the rear. Oh no. Okay, I think he changed his mind. Yes, he has decided to go into the Soul Reavers with them, with both the Elementals and the Pegasus in the rear, which is the recipe for dead Soul Reavers. Over here, blurry action shot, because these Pegasus are really annoying to take. They look cool, but gosh, they're annoying to take pictures of. I think something's getting healed. I think, he had to get out of the way to let these guys. Yeah, he may. We ended up here. How did we end up here? Did he withdraw and sidestep? I think so. I think he withdrew, sidestepped. His early cavalry came in, is hitting the Revenant King, and he's hoping to overrun into my Soul Reaver Cavalry. Enough looking at bad pictures. Yes, this guy's still taking on damage, doing all his spells, but it's not enough. And his Radiance of Life is slowly healing it. And a Pegasus in the flank. So he overruns through my Revenant King, kills, and then he's now in here with the flank of the Pegasus. 2 damage. I wanted to take a picture because it's cool. Cavalry on cavalry. Charge! And charged it, did, and killed it. And here's another blurry action shot because it's focusing, I think, on a bit of a tree. So, Soul Reaver Cavalry dead, and it's only turn 5. That's not good. They're going to get here a bit too fast. And then over here, well, we've got a decent amount of... No, these guys did a dismal amount of damage, and my Soul Reavers survived. So, that's pretty good. 5. So, it's now a flank from the zombies, which is definitely terrifying, right? No, not really. But there's a flank from the zombies, so we'll see if that amounts to anything whatsoever. It's also hindered because there's an obstacle there, so wonderful. We'll just try and fight our way over this situation. I've got my whites facing forward in case the Order of the Forsaken starts coming around over here, so they're just kind of, and they're also straddling a thing that will make them hindered, so I'm just trying to keep these as survivable as possible, and these Soul Reavers are just like, well, we'll wait until it's all done. If everything fails, we can do or kill some unicorns. So that's the plan there, and I've got my Revenant King here ready to also tie something up if possible. So we do 12 damage, and it still sticks around, so that's just annoying. So we're still stuck there, and I don't think I can survive another round of that. In the middle, well, we have the zombies being charged by both the Order of Redemption and the annoying Pegasus that's still out of control. Yes, the water elementals have finally picked up a token and are slowly walking over here to grab the next token. That's his plan. Whereas the Order of Forsaken, mind blank, Order of Forsaken are now going to hunt down my 2-point token, which is a smart idea, and I am terrified because, these are nimble. They can get around really easy, and so I'm going to have to be crafty if I want to keep my Revenant Cavalry alive. So we are just waiting over here to see what will happen. So that's, what have I taken a picture of for this reason? Not sure. But he did kill the Soul Reaver infantry. I think I took a picture because the combat was happening. The combat happened, and they killed the Soul Reaver infantry with his damaged Earth Elementals, but they're still there. So, in my turn, where's the turn picture? That's rude. It should say something like turn 6. Oh well, turn 6 is around here, and that's where I charge in because I'm the one going first. There's a flank charge there. We're going to kill them because flanking Soul Reavers will do that to you, and we don't really care about this Pegasus. It will go off and harass me a bit. And what I'm trying to do here with the Revenant Cavalry is that they're offering a flank to the Forsaken, because the Forsaken are definitely in range. Speed 10, I can't do anything about that, but they're offering a flank, and so, but there's blocking terrain. So that's just the idea, is that they can't charge me, at least for this turn. There's still too many turns. It's turn 6, there could be a turn 7. Meanwhile, the Revenant King's trying to hold them up, at least take off their flying and nimble, if possible. So charge in, he does, but there's plenty of stuff that'll come and kill him, and these guys are just hiding a little bit more if possible. So the whites are keeping that 2-point token nice and safe. And down here, well, he's just picking up more tokens. So he's got the 3 tokens. He's doing what he needs to do, but he still can't win if he lets me hold the 2. So in knowing this, he's sent in his Pegasus to flank charge, hindered flank charge my whites, which I'm not particularly worried about. And yes, he's very frustrated that I've used blocking terrain like this. But fair enough, it's not cool, but also it's a tournament, and I would like to win my second round against Order of the Green Lady, so I'm using my tactics. And so the Order of Forsaken has repositioned so that it can definitely get me, and I will reposition to definitely deny him if possible. We'll see how we go. Oh, and hit Earth Elementals, as expected, because that's what happens when you flank them. And so the entire cavalry is coming over in a wave, and they've charged in, so, I don't think maybe I did manage to ground him, and so he just moved up and turned, so that's why he couldn't move further. Yeah, so Revenant King did do some good work, but now he's getting killed, and he definitely will. So as expected, a flank charge doing 1 damage is fine by me for whites. They can life leech that back. Over here, I've continued moving my annoying for my Revenant Cavalry, so that the Forsaken cannot get that flank charge, but all they have is a flank. I measured the flank. Yeah. Anyway, definitely infuriating for poor Grant. But it's the only way to keep them alive. So really, to pin these guys down in this situation when there's a blocking terrain that they can constantly utilize, because they just can, he needs to have another unit come in just to pin it down or hold it up, which the Druid could definitely do. The Druid should actually be charging in and just sit one attack. I mean, even if it fails, I don't know, I might struggle to move past them. I might not get the positioning that I want. So that's probably what should have been done, but you normally don't think of your casters like this. So yeah, I get to continue my silliness in turn 7. Huh, that's interesting. I put my turn 6 here. It's definitely not just turn 6. I'm not quite sure where that came from. Here we go. So we've got the whites getting charged in the front. I think I'm hitting back. Yeah, I must be hitting back here. And then we've got Order of Redemption coming in, and yeah, everything's getting close. Oh, that's it. No, that's where the game ends. But then why did I put the turn 6 marker there? But yeah, that's how it ended. Because unfortunately, he couldn't chase down my 2-point token on the Revenant Cavalry, because they did run all the way around and started using the building just when they needed to. They didn't get there in time, and they were still stuck out here. definitely would have been dead. My idea of delaying the entire army, if I could, works. I could have been able to delay it a little longer. These guys would even be technically dead if it could be helped, but it just didn't eventuate that way. And yeah, the Pegasus is not enough to kill white, especially since Dash 17. It's going to take a while before it can even get enough damage to even start doing a worthwhile nerve test. So it is just stuck there, and I think this is just the last pick. So there you go. So yeah, this was a victory to me. It was 4-3 though, so it wasn't a crazy victory, and I think he killed a hefty amount. He's hefty a lot, I just realized. Anyway, he did kill a lot, so it wasn't a big win at all. It was very close, and it was a very good game. And I think really he just went wrong by putting that 2-point token right there, because the way the Plunder's supposed to work is it should be one's there and one's over the other side, and you end up actually fighting over the one in the middle while each has their own on their own sides. So that's really how it should have been, but in that way that he put it in the middle, I'm not sure what he had in mind to take it, because he didn't even have any units set up to take that 2-point token. So maybe he thought the Earth Elementals would win out, but the Earth Elementals are so slow, they weren't going to get through all the stuff I was just feeding them. I was feeding them zombies and Revenant Cavalry, and then Soul Reavers were coming in to chop them up. So it's just like, I'm not quite sure why he put that 2-point token there, but Grant, if you're watching this video, comment down below and tell me what you're thinking with that 2-point token. And if you weren't thinking, hopefully now you got a plan in mind for the next time, because I had a plan and you fed right into it, which was good for me. But otherwise, great game, really fun. Second round done. There's one more round in this day one that I had, and it was another good game afterwards, which we'll get into very soon. I'm in China, so that's why we've got bad audio quality, because I'm stuck with the laptop. And I didn't bring my microphone because I didn't want to pack that in. So apologies about the bad audio quality, but at least I do have time to just record battle reports when I'm not eating lots of lovely Chinese food and hanging out with the fam. So if you have any things that you notice in this battle, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.